Hey, hello guys, welcome to today's stream. And let me just open the stream. And today we are going to start with MDN. I think we were going to start with fetching new data. So my internet seems to be a little slow today. Like mostly just text, so it doesn't matter. I hope the streaming does not go down. It wouldn't most probably. Um, my internet is good enough. Um, on so fetching data from the server. Another very common task in modern website and application is retrieving. Am I in frame? Yep. I'm sitting on somewhere new this time. Uh, Been back. Uh, Fetching data from the server. Another very common task in modern websites and application is retrieving individual data items from the server. Yeah, exactly. This seemingly small detail has a huge impact on the performance. Okay, then without having to load the entire new page. Exactly. So, like single page applications use this trick a lot and impact the performance and behavior of the site. So, in this article, we will explain the concept and look at technologies that make it possible, in particular, Fetch API. What is the problem here? Web page consists of HTML page and usually various other files such as style sheets, scripts, and email. The basic model of page loading on web is that your browser makes one more HTTP request to the server for the files needed to display on the page, and the server responds with the requested files. If you visit another page, the browser requests the new files and the server responds with them. Okay. So basically, for one page, you request for that page and the server responds. This model works perfectly well for many sites, but consider a website that is very data driven. For example, a library website like Vancouver. I think it's in Canada. Yeah. Is it the capital of Canada? It's not JavaScript. I'll check it later. Uh, Among other things you could think of a site like this is a user interface to a database. It might let you search for a particular genre of book or might show you recommendation for book you might like based on the books you have previously borrowed. When you do this, it needs to update the page with the new set of books to display. But note most of the page content, including items like the page header, sidebar, and footer, stay the same. Exactly. The trouble with traditional model here is that we will have to fetch and load the entire page. So, like all the headers, all the footer, everything will be loaded again and fetched again. Basically, it's the same redundant data, even when we only need to update one part of it. This is inefficient and can result in poor user experience. So, instead of traditional model, many websites use JavaScript APIs to request data from the server, update the page content the page load, without a page load. I'm sorry. So, when the user searches for a new product, the browser only requests the data that which is needed to update the page, the set of new books to display in this instance. Okay, cool. That's very easily understandable. The main API here is Fetch API. So Fetch is the like the modern version of API request. So earlier we used to use XHR and it was just a hell. Fetch uses JSON. It's really cool to work with, easy to work with, and it has a few syntax. Like fetch does not have a syntax, but handling fetch has a few syntaxes where you can handle it through promises or you can handle it async through async await. But yeah, both of them are very convenient, and async await makes it super easy to understand. And I mean like. Uh, Sometimes, like earlier, without fetch, there's a library called Axios. Almost everybody used Axios, though still a lot of people. I myself use Axios a lot still, but after fetch, a lot of people left using these libraries, and this says something about how well this is implemented. Though Axios still provides a lot of functionality that is very good. Um, this enables JavaScript running in a page to make HTTP requests to a server and retrieve specific resources. When the server provides them, the JavaScript can use the data to update the page, typically by using DOM manipulation API. The data requested is often JSON, which is good format for transferring structured data, but can also be HTML or just text. This is a common pattern for data-driven sites such as Amazon, YouTube, eBay, and so on. With this model, page updates are a lot quicker and you don't have to wait for the page to refresh, meaning that the site feels faster and more responsive. Less data is downloaded on each update, meaning less wasted bandwidth. This may not be a big issue on desktop on a broadband connection, but it is a major issue on mobile devices and in countries that don't have ubiquitous fast internet service. Cool. To speed things up even further, some sites also store assets and data on users' computer that they are first requested. Basically, they do caching, meaning that on subsequent visit, they use the local version instead of downloading fresh copies every time on the page first loads. The content is only reloaded from the server when it has been updated. The fetch API. Finally, we come to the topic, the hero. Let's walk through a couple of examples of the fetch API. Fetch text content. For example, we'll request data out of few different text files and use them to populate our content area. The series of files will act as fake database in real application. We will be more likely to use server-side language like Python and PHP or Node to request a data from a database. Here, however, you want to keep it simple and concentrate on client side part. Okay, cool. So fetch. To begin this, you're gonna make a okay. Let's do this. They have added this sign. This sign is used for like an opening in a new tab, and now just bad experience. I think I'll delete the extra files. Uh, this, or I'll keep them. It doesn't make delete the images. That's not needed. I know I could just download this files, but better. Is there any play I could download? No, actually, I can't even download this file. So if we make a script tag and add this code, the script is already there. The stores reference the select and pre element. I add a listener to select element so that when the user selects a new value, the new value is passed to a function named update property. Construct an relative URL pointing to the text file we want to. What are they doing? Was choose select selecting this select and pre const was equals to. Let's just see how it looks. Okay, so currently nothing happens because there's no JavaScript right now. Bash, like not allowed. We make a function called update display. We start our function by constructing a relative URL pointing to the file text file we want to load as we need it later. The value of select element at any time is the same as the text inside the selected option unless you specify different values. For example, verse 1. Okay. Basically, it's okay. They are selecting the verse here. Basically, it should be. Hmm. Yeah, okay. We can also add like this, but cool. This is also okay. Finally, we want to use the fetch API. Fetch URL. Don't know why my formatting is not working. Generally, I have format on save done, so it should work. But weird error. Fetch API is a global function called fetch that takes the URL and the next fetch it saying returns a promise. If you don't know that, we don't want to we get promises. So because fetch returns a promise, we pass the function and include the then method and return promise. The method will be called as we check call the response. So basically, first fetch is called, then it returns a promise. So it goes to the then block. Then this also returns a promise. So it goes. Then we return the text content. Basically, we change the text content and then, or if there's any error, then we like cache that error, all the errors in the catch block. One problem with the example as it stands is that it won't show any of the poem when it first loads. To fix this, add the following two lines at the bottom of your code, just above the closing script tag, to load verse 1 by default. Okay, yeah. Why is verse 1 getting an error? Oh, cool. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Serving from a server. Modern browsers will not return a HTTP request if you just send the example from a local file. This is because web security restriction for more of the web. On this, we need to test the example. Then it through local web server to find this how the basically we in VS Code there's this extension called live. Hope my stream is okay. Oh, my doesn't seem to be in the best of conditions. Yeah, so there's this live server, and you can add this extension, and it will spin up. You can easily spin up on you. So we saw how fetch works. So I think we'll skip this because it's a similar code. We'll go through the code. Yeah, it's a very similar code. So expect that instead of we use yeah. So for JSON objects, you can use response.json, and for like file object, you can use .blob. So and for text, we already did. So sometimes, especially in older code, you will see another API called XML HTTP request. Often abbreviated fetch and was really the first API widely used to implement AJAX. Uh, I forgot what was the full form of AJAX. Asynchronous something. Uh, We recommend you to use Fetch if you can. It's a simpler API and has more features than. Yeah, we won't go through an example that uses Excel, but we'll show you. Well, let's leave this. They are also not very keen on, but it's a small thing. Let's do it. You make a request object using this keyword, like new uh, class, this class XML HTTP request. Then you open a try and you open the request. So uh, for different codes in between, and we're using I guess the request or response or status. Huh. Yeah, so they are also not explaining it very much, and it's it makes sense. It's not it's not actually used at all right now. And in newer code, you won't find it. In older code, you should definitely upgrade to fetch. So doesn't make sense. Okay, I guess this is it for today. Uh, Nice, simple, short session. And for me, at this point, I kindly like I prefer having shorter sessions because uh, I have a lot of work to do right now. Same problem as yesterday. It's kind of irritating. And we are done. Thank you guys for joining. And